Good morning, students. Is my voice is audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, students. Let us commence the session. So till now, we have come across from Java fundamentals, variables, constants, operators, categories of function, OOPS concepts. So in that direction, we have seen control flow structures, as well as we have come across the categories of operators also. And we have seen one-dimensional array in the last session. Today we are going to see multi-dimensional array. Apart from our multi-dimensional array, see, and I suggest you the topics what we dealt during the last session and the session that what I am going to take now will play a vital role in your logical building section of Wipro training sessions. So please understand and take it forward. Whatever the problem they have given, it is good to approach from the array perspective at the initial stage. If you want to get enough strong in programming, implementing the real-time problems, you should be in a stage to develop your practical implementation of such concepts through arrays. So that will give you the pathway for your further programming section. Okay. So to revise previous session, here you have some MCQs. Please type your answers in the chat. And before getting into the thing, just I want to give you a reminder. Make sure that you are completing your assignments. It is good to see a minimum number of students have completed the assignment. Already it was launched during Saturday and Sunday itself. So please work on that before the end of the week. I think deadline was fixed over there. Before the end of the week, you have to complete it. So please execute in your own laptop using by installing JDK in your own machine or in any online compiler that you are preferred to work, execute. You have to share the code and screenshot of the corresponding assignment in a PDF file or make it to be an image to be followed as a single PDF file. So that will be the concern to submit. So you have 3 sets of assignment. So choose your caliber and choose any one set and solve. Right? Any one of the set you choose and solve. The reason to give that 3 bands is that's a trend nowadays. If you are going to solve tough set, that the thing is you will get very good package. So when you are going to solve a normal set, you will get an entry level package. That's it. So that could be the trend that the campus interviews are adopting. Right? Companies who are coming for campus interviews are adopting. Even people who are recruiting in online nowadays, they are also adapting the same thing. Right? So that's the stage that we have given adapted in our assignments also. So choose your any one of the set and answer. So that's what I want to convey before commencing our recap session. So what's the answer for this? Might be simple, right? Because last session we run with something tough. Most of the students have commented that you are recruiting or you are conducting a recap session. Likewise, they have asked. Yes, you are getting bulk of options. Okay, so that's the, I think that's such an easy one, right? That's the thing. Always array starts with a 0. Yes. Let's see, you have option to convey true or false. Array declared without initialization, without mentioning the size. In Java, it is possible or not. If you have seen the slide of declaration and instantiation, you could be able to convey the answers to this. We are getting bulk of options. True, right? Very good. Yes, now you have to take time to convey, right? Please think carefully and answer. Something to be exposed to. See, I suggest you students, mere listening to our lecture and practicing will not give you the complete stuff. From your end, you have to refer further, penetrate on the given topic, and you have to learn further. That is the actual scope of your knowledge in programming languages, right? So, I think we are not in school. Even nowadays, school, they are running with their content beyond the syllabus. Students itself, they are moving content beyond the syllabus. As you are in college, you have to do it daily. You have to go for this content beyond the syllabus. In syllabus, what we have learned pertaining to academia, what are all the contents relevant to this topic in industries available? That you have to travel further. Okay, so that's the real thing. You come without that. So what could be the answer? We have declared an array, which is a static variable. It's a static array. Static variable is used inside the static method itself. Concept is correct as per the static rules. So we are ready to retrieve the length of the array. Okay, what's the answer? Option is D. People have knowledge on that, right? Very good. Ultimately, because I have not initialized that array, right? I have declared only. I don't have any element, right? I have not initialized such thing. So without initialization, I could not be able to fetch anything, or I could not be able to compute the size. Ultimately, it will return null pointer exception. So how the compiler will behave means, how the interpreter will behave means, because Java C is the compiler, Java is the interpreter. So how that JVM will behave means, you are asking me to measure the size of nothing. Okay, you are asking me to measure the size of nothing. It is not possible. That is the reason why, to confuse you, they have given 0 and null. Okay, so that's the main area. Ultimately, it will generate you exception only. It will not generate you error. Please remember that. While you are running the program, it will compile correctly, but while you are going to run the program, it will generate null pointer exception. I don't have anything, but you are ready to measure my array. How? Right? That's the reason why null pointer exception will be generated. Right? Learning errors and the exception in Java will give you a stretch knowledge on Java. Right? So please remember. Yes. Now respond with your answer. Something to check your fundamental. Don't urge. Yes. What could be the option? It started posting C. So yes, option is C only, right? Because the length of the size of the array is going to be 3 only. 3 elements other. Marks of 1, nothing but the second one, right? Fundamental. This is the way to check your fundamental. Now tell me. Here you have something to think, right? This is question number 5. Already you have seen question number 3. So think and answer. You have an array which is being initialized empty. We are ready to print the size of the array. What is the answer? Yes. What is the answer? There is 0, B. Even we have some A's also. Okay. A, B, C. We are reading C. Yes. What's the answer? Ultimately, it is going to be 0. No elements are there. Simple logic. That was I have given you. I have fed you the knowledge in the while I am going to deal with the previous one, right? Here I have not initialized anything, right? I have initialized. I have not given any values. I have not made any entries. Okay, so ultimately I have declared an array. I have initialized an empty array, right? It is an integer. So pertaining to empty, the term going to 0. That's all. Okay, so that's the idea. It is going to supply us 0. That's it. So these simple fundas are enough to move forward. How to declare a multi-dimensional array? So that's a very big case that we need to move forward. So likewise, the same type of declaration context are there that what we have seen in our one-dimensional array, the same type of things that we have to cover here. So array subscripts can be suffixed with our data type, or prefixed with our variable, or suffixed with our variable, right? Even I could be able to distribute these two things between the variable, right? So that's also the case. The reason to give all these 4 types of declarations are syntax are see in MCQs they may twist you on these things. That is the reason why. Okay, so please remember all these declarations are correct. All these syntax are correct pertaining to multi-dimensional arrays. Okay, so here we are giving the syntax for 2-dimensional array. Pertaining to multi-dimensional array, all these things are applicable. All right, this is an example for a multi-dimensional array. So here we are using a 2-dimensional array and we are ready to print it. Okay, so that's the case. So we have 3x3 array that we are ready to print it. Since we are using the reason to use 2 for loops is one will travel on row, another will travel on column. If you are going to consider this array as a matrix, so 2-dimensional means it will travel both on row and column. That is the reason why consider is as a cell on the table that we are going to fill it up with this, right? 2 dimensions being represented, row I, column J. Okay, here we perform the static initialization directly. Okay, so the reason to include that empty println is the way that we will format like a matrix. That is the reason why I have given an empty println at the end of the main logic. Right? Here in this program, we have initialized a static array to static a 3x3 array, and we are displaying the values available in the array in the matrix form. That's it. So that's a very simple program to display such things. So we have some built-in methods available in array. Right? So that's also that I want to fetch it up. So it is a character array, right? It is a character array. You can able to see it is a character array. So I'm going to create a character array again for the purpose of storing. Okay, I have created a character array. I have mentioned only 7 characters, 7 locations for the new array. So how I am going to copying from one array to other array. So the syntax will go like this: copy from, right? That is the source array. From where I have to copy, from the position, and where I have to store, copy to starting index, ending index. So that could be the major content that here we need to work with. Okay, so please remember this method array copy, right? Array copy. Remember this method. This method will be helpful when you are going to solve HackerRank problems. Array copy, right? So even you can write a case of for loops to copy from one array to other array with a single statement, right? But when we are going to work with any specific conditions, it would be more easy instead of writing a lot of conditions, right? While you are going to learn lambda expressions in Java, that these things can be adapted in an easier way. Okay, so that's the story of this array copy. Remember that in this example, we have learned array copy. Cloning an array, right? Cloning an array. So how to copy? That's also a second stage. But cloning means again we are creating the new array. What's the difference between copy and cloning, right? So not much more difference over on that. So we have an array ARR. We are having 4 elements. Using for each, I am displaying the values. Okay. So now I am creating the new array. How I am creating the new array? I have not given input for the newly created array. CARR is the newly created array, but I have not given any input for that, right? By using the clone method, I am ready to copy the elements of ARR into CARR. That's all. So ARR.clone. ARR is a previous array. .clone. This method will help us to clone all the elements available in ARR into CARR. That's all. Again, by using for each, I am ready to display the our elements available in the array CARR. So that's it. So ultimately, it will print the elements available in the ARR. That's it. So that's the way to clone. So in this program, that you need to remember the method clone, right? The previous method you have learned array copy. In this program, you have learned the method clone. It is ready to copy the content of an array by using that clone element, right? So that's the major criteria here. A famous example, a famous one. Whatever the programming language, while people are going to teach you for two-dimensional array, without the 2 programs, addition of matrices and again multiplication of matrices, it won't be, right? So please remember that the way to create a matrix, already we have static initialization. This is a 2 cross 3, right? 2 cross 3. So I have given a and B, and I am initializing an empty array C, right? That is also with the same dimension, because addition can be performed only on the corresponding matrices. So row and the column, right? So the way of interpreting this array is also something interesting, right? I am consisting of 2 arrays, which consists of 3 elements, right? So array A, okay, array A, which consists of 2 subarrays. Each array is having 3 elements. So that could be the interpretation of this array. Okay. So one array will work with row. Sorry, one for loop will work with row. Other for loop will work with a column. I am going to fetch one element from one corresponding position. From the same position, from other matrix, I will take one more element. I will add those things, and I will post the resultant value in the newly created array in the same position. That's all. So without changing the position, it will iterate, and finally all the 6 elements will be pasted and posted on the corresponding result, and in the matrix format, I will get the output. Right? Such a simple idea it is. Multiplication of 2 matrices. So here we are working with the 3 cross 3 matrix. Initialization, array creation, everything is going to common, but the logic will get to vary, right? So how could I able to differentiate the logic here? Because here the normal mathematical way of doing such one is taking from by keeping one portion constant, making other portion to iterate. That is the reason why here for traversing row and column, we are having a content, right? For keeping one particular content to be varied, so for that we are introducing that third loop. Okay, the K loop will traverse on that. So it is like sum is equal to sum plus I. Right? So in that case, Ci of j is equal to Ci of j. Okay, that's going to be plus Ai of k, A of ik into B of kj. Right? So that is the reason why that we are making that K loop to be a varying one when I am going to rotate with the row and the column. Simple matrix multiplication logic. Right? Finally, I am going to display that Ci of j. That's the resultant matrix that it is ready to work with, because it is having some internal number of multiplications and additions will perform parallelly. That is the reason why the complex is going to work with it. Even you can try with the sparse matrix, right? What is the logic for transpose? What I will do, right? So these are all some of the flavors of the matrix that is being mandatorily even in unanimous examinations as well as in campus interviews. People prefer to ask, right? So what is meant by transpose? If you know mathematically what is a transpose, you could be able to answer for this. So ultimately, I will change row into column, column into row. That's it. That's what here it has been mentioned. So transpose of ij equal to original of ji. Actually, original of ij will be there in that case. Now we have changed the row into column, column into row. That's the reason why the changed one is stored into the new array, transpose of ij. Now again I have to write a for loop to display the transpose array, right? So such a main thing. So this transpose will majorly helpful when I am going to tilt any image. When I am going to tilt any image for a particular direction. Most of the matrix contents will have their own variations in the digital image processing only. Identity matrix, I think people will know about it, familiar, right? Identity matrix, nothing but being filled with one. Okay, so this logic will help me to check and identify that the given one is the identity matrix. So I am running with the rows and columns. I am ready to check such that I equal to j, logical and a of ij not equal to 1. Right? So it is ready to generate me the identity matrix. Next, to check both the matrix are equal. This could be your logic. To check both the matrix are equal, what I have to do? I have to take that corresponding positions element from matrix 1. Then I have to check with the corresponding position elements from matrix 2. Then I have to equate. Then I have to double equal to, or then I have to not equal to. I have to check. So if any one of the element is going to not equal, ultimately there is matrix inequality. But ultimately this will check. If it is going to both are equal, it will generate that value, right? But this logic is ready to check. Anything is not equal, that's what is ready to check. Complementary logic of the main one. That is the idea of matrix equality, right? So that's the case that we are thinking about. Next, lower triangular matrix. So this is also some of the tedious cases that people will be working with. See, if they want a twist, for an average student, if they want a twist, they will ask these type of things in the campus interview. Lower triangular. Lower triangular means lower triangle, I will have the value. For the upper triangle only, it will be filled with 0. So if upper triangle is filled with 0, that is called the lower triangular matrix. Vice versa, it is going to vary. Check with that j greater than I. That means it will work only for 1, it will fill 2 and 3. For the second row, it will fill the highest number. For the third row, it will fill the last number. So that corresponding higher number columns will get to be filled over there. Right? So that's what lower triangular matrix. Here, the logic will be very simple. Just you check with the j and I, that will be changed. Here, if j greater than I, upper triangular, I greater than j. That's it. So the logic will get to vary over on that. So upper triangular means reverse. The lower end will have zeros, upper end will have the values. That's it. Now you have to tell me what this logic is doing. Please work out and tell me, put it in the chat box, what this logic is doing. A simple matrix logic. Again, it's based on matrix only. What it is doing in a two-dimensional matrix.
Sir, we are checking a number of odd and even numbers in a matrix.
Very good. So it is ready to count the frequency of odd and even numbers in the given matrix, right? So that's the thing. What this one is doing. Next one. Even you can type in chat or you can open your mic and convey.
Sum of each row, sir.
Sum of each?
Rose.
How you are conveying that it is a rose?
I mean,
How you are conveying that it is a rose?
sir, because for I is for row, sir.
Okay.
For loop I is for rows and j loop is for columns.
Okay.
So since s equal to 0 will be initialized first for each row, so iterating each column and adding it to sum, we'll get the sum of each row, sir. Because after the for loop j finishes, again s equal to 0 will be initialized.
That's perfect. What about this? I have changed in the previous slide and current slide. What about this? This is your previous slide. This is your current slide. Yes. What's the difference between previous program and current program? This is your previous program that is being conveyed by uh, rows, sum of rows, right? This is for sum of columns. That's it, right? So to come over on that, an important case that I want to discuss here. So now I think I am expecting people to discuss about project for this 10 minutes. That's the reason why I have completed earlier. You should not leave the class. You have to raise question because I'm getting more people are coming and talking over in the private chat. So I need people to ask queries here. We are ready to respond. Right? So I think all of you know the project title, right? I could able to see from A section some of the students have started to work. About other sections. Gayatri ma'am, what about your section? Shamni ma'am, what about your section? And I think Aarti ma'am is not there. But you could able to convey what could be the progress. Any discussions happened. Even if students that you want to raise queries on doing the project, you can ask here. I'll show you some contents also to work with. That's the reason why. You can open up your mic and you could able to ask. This is the time to discuss. This is not the time to leave the group. Okay, it's the time to discuss. We are noting people who are leaving the meeting, right? It will be marked as absent. Please open up your mic. Amrita Varshini have mentioned, I have no idea how to start my project, sir. What's your project title, Amrita Varshini? Shopping Mart Android application, right? Students who have received a project related to Android, please install Android Studio in your laptop. Okay, please install Android Studio in your laptop. In the Android Studio, that you have this website. So I'll show you that website. So this is your official website. Okay. So seems to net connection is somewhat slow. developer.android.com, right? From this website, since the website will track your laptop and it will convey what is your operating system, how much size it will occupy, that will be conveyed by the Android Studio itself. Okay, from here you could able to download. So don't go for customized download, download the full option. So once you could able to download and install, you will get a window like this, right? So there you will get the usage of the thing. And one more thing is, while you are going to work with Android Studio, you should be in online. Please remember, you should be in online, because you have some supporting files that will be enabled from the Android Studio developer websites. That is the reason why it will convey on that. So in this website, if you go through that, you will get a help option, the user guide. Okay. They will give you a template program. See here, you could able to see here, write your app. Check this. You could able to find it out, everything. I will suggest you, just you see this first. Build and run your app. So how to run your app? Build your app from the command line. Okay. So these things will help you to write the basic content. The basic content is nothing but it will display you the mobile window. Okay, it will display you the mobile window. So how was your screen? Likewise, you will get a screen. That's it. Okay. The logic that what you need to write, they have the template. Within that, you have to write the Java code only, right? If you want to print your name, you can print. Or if you want to design any specific aspects that you could able to create. For example, this is the basic way to approach. This is the basic way to install Android Studio and start working with your first program, right? Create a first app in Android Studio. Likewise, if you mention over on that, you can use this help menu and build it. But still, if you are not being comfort with that, check in YouTube, create my first Android app using Android Studio. You will get a simple help. So by traversing on that, you could able to build a simple Android app. Okay. So once if you have completed, you could able to find it lot of examples which are available to develop and move forward. Okay. So first to practice these things. People who have received Android projects, first to practice these things, at least 1 or 2 apps. You can run the app in your system itself, or you can generate APK file, .apk. You can generate the APK files, right? Once you execute the program in the Android Studio without any errors, you can have the option download.apk. Okay. Once you go and click the download APK files, you will get .apk. So you can connect a USB with your mobile and download that APK file into your memory card or in your own internal memory. Just double click a APK file in your mobile. Ultimately, it will install your own app in the mobile. That's it. That's the easiest way to work with. Okay. Then I think the application is something not tougher. I think so. Okay. Application is shopping mart. Shopping mart is nothing but something called online shopping. So you can fix up on any particular product, right? Instead of multi-product, you can go for only specifically to electronics, earphones, or electronics mobiles. So like this, you can fix up for any one particular product and you can take it forward, right? So that's the thing. My project is based on fire alarm. Sujita has given this. So fire alarm, right? It is something related with the sensors. See, you could able to get from electronic shop sensors. Fire sensors are coming. I think for a reasonable rate it is coming. Less than, it will be in hundreds. Okay. So how to work Java with electronics? Just to Google for that, you could able to find it out. Otherwise, even in Android app also you could able to work with. Okay, even you could able to work with the Android app. You can create an Android app. Just you can browse it on the YouTube. Fire alarm sensor using Android app. Just you mention, you will get number of apps. From that you try to simulate on your own, right? This is one way. Second way is you can get an Arduino board. Okay, from the Arduino board you can fix it up here. Fire alarm sensor. Okay, these two contents are there. Alarm is a separate component. Fire sensor is a separate component. These two components will be integrated into the Arduino board by using external interface, some wires that you have to interface. You have to get a breadboard and other thing. You have to connect all those things. In the Android, sorry, in the corresponding studio of our Arduino board, you have to run this program. It's a matter of some 15 to 18 lines of code that will give you the content. Right, Sujita? That's what your content is. Yes, you can use PHP also for your design purpose. Yes. Please post your doubts in the chat box. Otherwise, open up the mic and speak. You are not supposed to leave the meeting. Faculty members are noting down how to compare two strings. Yes, we will convey those things while we are coming about a string. We will deal string in the chapter. Okay. Online auction system. How can I start my project, sir? What are the steps to complete my project, sir? So online auction system. So auction system is nothing but I think you could choose any one product, right? Auction. Okay, for auction you could choose any one product. Might be now you could able to see auction is going for bank will go for auction, right? Auction of houses, the properties. Likewise, you try to display some list of properties which are available for auction. Okay, so create some users that they are ready to participate in the auction. Who is claiming the minimum rate? Who is claiming the minimum rate? For them, the house is the property is allotted towards them. So likewise, you could be able to travel. So in a simple Java, you could be able to write. So initially, no need to go for any user interface. Okay, so you can do it in the normal content. So first, you try to receive what are all the properties available. Some 10 properties. Simple program, right? What are all the properties available? Then you go for what are all the users are available. So what is the basic price of each property? In a particular day, auction is going to happen. So the day that they will going to perform the auction. What is the bid prices quoted by all the users who have given minimum bid price? For them, the corresponding thing will be given. That's all. Who have given maximum bid price, for them, the property will be allotted towards them, right? So on the final stage, Aditi, you can get it to user interface. Either you can go for your Android app also, right? So that is the thing. I think I have answered for Aditi. Next is Dharani. Holiday trip planner, right? You try to generate a calendar through Java. Okay, already we have a calendar control available in Java. From the calendar, you try to block a date. From the date, you try to create some packages. For the respective packages, you please allot the itinerary. Okay, for the itinerary, you fix it inside the corresponding schedule and make it to happen. Initially, do it in the normal environment. Do not go for UI. Okay, later stage you can go for UI, right? Involvement of Java is very, very important in all the projects, right? That is the main thing that I want to suggest. And next, I think I have answered for Dharani. Harshini, online share trading portal, right? So please visit some equity and stock trading websites. Okay, so there you could be able to number of parameters. So they will list it. These are all the company shares available. The unit of the cost of one share is this amount. What will be the total cost of the transaction that you need to pay? As well as that, likewise, you can mention you maintain some 5 companies. Users are trying to access the shares of the company. So today's share value is 100 rupees. Next day share value have gone down 50 rupees. Next day the share value have gone up for 175 rupees. So you have to compute what is the corresponding users profit, users loss on every day. You have to compute and you have to come forward. So every day you have to update this. So likewise, so when the user is going to open his software on the day, it need to convey. See, you bought 5 shares in these 5 companies. This is the trend today, likewise. So that's the thing that you have to convey. Harshini, I think I have answered your question. Sir, I am doing a project. Shall I present? And the end I want is the way. Yeah, you can proceed, Venkat Sriram. The thing is Java must be involved. That's it. Still 5 more minutes. You could able to ask. Likewise, still any section students, right? Not only A. Any section students can ask doubts. On behalf of your teachers, I will respond. Please. So stage 2, start work. Your traveling time to college has been nil now. So you could able to employ your time to do that. Venkatrama. A search result ranking algorithm for web pages. So this is something that you have to work with JSP. I think you people are already moving for SIH, right? So you should have some sufficient knowledge on that. Try to work with the initial stages on JavaScript, I suggest you. Okay, JavaScript. So I think through HTML you could able to design some web pages. Okay, so after designing web pages, you have some page ranking algorithms available over on the internet. So please understand what those page ranking algorithms are. How to incorporate your own website into that page ranking algorithm. That is the stage that where you have to integrate. For example, you create some 3 or 4 websites. Each website consists of some 3 pages. That is enough. So when you are going to give a keyword, make sure that all those 4 or 5 websites are with similar type of product based one. In that case, how the priority will be given for each website that can be identified through this page ranking algorithm. Okay, so that's what you have to develop. You have to something work with HTML, JavaScript, and JSP, right? So that will give you the content. Yes, similar to your Google search only. Even Google search is employing page ranking algorithm only. The same thing only they are conveying. Even in Google, you can get that API of page ranking algorithm. That's what Venkatrama. I think I have answered your query. Students, raise your queries this time. It's not time to leave the meeting. 1 more minute. Alignment of audiobooks. You have to perform shorting. That's all. Okay. So collect audiobooks from Google. It will be in MP3 format or MP4 format. How to arrange files. Okay. How to arrange files in Java. Just you check over on that. You will get that, and through that you could able to contribute and move forward. First, you collect some audiobooks which are in MP3 or MP4 format. And you have to arrange it in the order. So that's the thing that you have to do. And then later you can incorporate some recommendation systems. Simple recommendation systems are available. Through that you can recommend to the user, this is the audio that you may prefer to hear. Likewise, you could be able to convey. You can create some cluster, right? Audiobooks means a novel, subject. Likewise, you create 2 or 3 clusters. So by that groups, by that you could be able to recommend in a easier way. That's what Sai Priya. All right. So I think furthermore, if no doubts, thank you. Join for the session for tomorrow.